to realize you're probably the only human being underwater at 9 p.m. with your buddy, of course, for like 100, 200 kilometers around. That's a crazy thought. Hi guys, and welcome to another video by Diver Katt at Ocean Pancake. In today's video, I want to talk to you about a pretty common question I have received, which is, what is night diving like? Is night diving scary? Why would you go night diving? So in this video, I want to talk about all things night diving. And yeah, if you have any other questions, please make sure to leave them down below. I'm more than happy to answer them in a next video or Instagram or maybe even my podcast. So yeah, let's get into it. So, question number one, why would I want to go night diving? Scuba diving by itself, or even free diving by itself, is already a bit of a bizarre, out-of-this-world experience. Some consider it an extreme sport, some consider it crazy, since the underwater world is an alien landscape filled with creatures that we hardly know about. While near the surface we have beautiful creatures like the humpback whale or dolphins and turtles, which we get to see, but the deeper down you go into the mysterious world, you might see crazy things of the deep that you don't even know about. Side note, if you want to learn more about the beautiful underwater world and teach your kids about it, I highly recommend my friend Maria's new book, Lila's Sky. It's about a deep-sea octopus and she meets deep-sea creatures. Anyway, back to diving. So in the day, you get to see a lot of incredible things when you scuba dive, especially on places like coral reefs or mangroves or seagrass beds that are nurseries of life. You get to see a whole myriad of sea creatures, from crustaceans, invertebrates, vertebrates, marine mammals even, and it's just a magical experience. If you have dived before, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's beautiful. However, at night, the whole world changes. So just like on land, where there's many nocturnal versus dayturnal, there's also many nocturnal animals. If you go out into nature in the night on land, you might see more owls or possums or even cats that like to hang out at night. You just see a whole different bunch of animals in their natural habitats and in their ecosystems, which take over the world when it gets dark. Same thing happens in the ocean. So I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary by our savior, David Attenborough, about the incredible isolated atolls from the Great Barrier Reef and the Coral Sea, where you can see how the sharks actually hunt at night. So that's one thing. Sharks hunt at night quite a lot of the time, especially reef sharks. So that video, check it out. There's hundreds of them. It's insane. Anyway, so you get a chance to see different animals that may come out, such as crustaceans, a lot of lobsters, crayfish, various crabs only come out at night to scavenge around, to find their food, and to do anything that they may be doing. That is because generally their predators sleep at night, so this is a key time for them to go out and explore. I have seen some of the coolest, like decorator crabs at night. Shrimp come out, you can see them a lot more. Cuttlefish, I've also seen frolicking at night a little bit more. And just generally, the reef comes alive with all of these crustaceans that you didn't know were there in the day. When I lived in Moheli, I actually did a lot of scuba dives on this one dive site in the day and in the night, so I got to see the exact same spots, just 12 hours apart, and it was completely different in the day versus the night. So at night, I would be seeing all these crabs, and in the day, I'd be looking for them, and I could not find them for the life of me. That's probably because decorator crabs, or most crabs, are experts at camouflage. So in the day, they would just simply find a nice little spot next to a coral and not move, and you just wouldn't know they were there. Me and all their other potential predators would just look past that spot and deem it to be invisible. That's the primary reason. You get to see a whole different world under there. You get to see the crustaceans be active. You get to see parrotfish sleeping in snot bubbles. Yeah, that's right. To mask their scent from predators, parrotfish create a bubble of their own mucus, which stops their scent from traveling, and they sleep inside it. I think I have footage of it somewhere. You get to see fish sleeping, you get to see other fish hunting, you get to see turtles sleeping. So if you look under many coral reef shelves and stuff, you might actually see a big daddy turtle asleep. On a lot of the Great Barrier Reef trips, they actually know where some of the resident turtles sleep almost throughout the year, so you can always see these big giants sleeping. Yeah, I think I went on a little bit of a tangent, but that is why. Now, what do you need to do to be able to night dive? That's, of course, either be on a liveaboard or go with a dive shop which organizes night dives, or then if you have your own boat, lucky you, make sure you have all the proper lights and safety equipment and head on out for a night dive. Number one thing for a night dive, get a good torch. I would highly recommend getting yourself an Orca Torch. I've been using these guys for about 3 years. They've sent me a few of their products for free, but genuinely, they're my favorite underwater torches I have ever used because they're rechargeable, they have good battery life, and they're very durable. So I have battered them through taking them on all my travels and across the country, and they're still in fantastic working condition. So making sure you have a good torch to be able to see this magical underwater landscape. And the last part of the question is night diving scary? Yeah, sometimes it can be. Descending into pitch black water is a pretty freaky thought. A lot of night dives are actually started in the dusk, so you descend underwater while the sun is going down, so you get a bit more of a gradual introduction to the darkness. If you go straight into the black inky sea, it gets a little bit freaky. Now, some people like to go when the moon is fully out, because that gives you a bit more light underwater, and you can actually turn off your torch or put it against your chest, and you'll see a whole... You can see. Like, it's kind of dusky and it's kind of dark, but the moon is so bright. But when there's not as much moon, there's actually more action underwater because it is darker, therefore animals feel more secure from their predators, therefore they're more active. It can be freaky. You're going down, it's pitch black, and then sometimes, like the dive I did with one of my friends, Tim, on the Coral Sea Atolls a couple of years ago. I think there's a whole video about the series of diving 300 kilometers from the shore, to realize you're probably the only human being underwater at 9 p.m. with your buddy, of course, for like 100, 200 kilometers around. That's a crazy thought. And the more you focus on the darkness, the darker it seems. And, you know, even though you dived 100 times in a day, if it's just the two of you, you just feel a lot more vulnerable. On this particular dive, we had a bull shark which kept following us. It was a small bull shark, but he was just being very cheeky, so whenever we pointed our torch away from him, he would decide that is the prime time to come out and have a look at us. So I was told by my partner from the boat he could see us like moving the torches all around like lightsabers, because quite a lot of the time sea creatures are actually afraid of the light, so if you shine the light on them, they'll go away. So I was using it as a lightsaber to keep myself safe. Not that I actually think that anything would have happened, but there is something freaky about any type of creature sneaking up at you underwater. I have done many night dives. I have seen sharks on many night dives. I'm not gonna lie, my heart rate always goes up a little bit, but it is a type of adrenaline and just unique experience that I would honestly recommend to anyone, especially if you do get to go with an established company which organize night dives. Do not miss don't miss it out, because you get to see this whole other world of underwater. A lot of the corals, you can actually see their little polyps doing their little polypy things. You can see fish and other species being way more active, and it's a little bit of a scary adrenaline rush experience, but you do ease into it. And so yeah, night dives, big plus. The only downside I will say of night dives is if you don't live in super tropical places like I luckily do, it gets cold. And I am an absolute wuss when it comes to cold water or cold weather. And because there's no sun out on your boat or on land when you're coming out, it can be a little bit chilly because you aren't getting heated up by the sun. But if you have hats and towels, you will be fine. Also, did I tell you, I actually spent one New Year's underwater. I think it was like 2015. Me and my dive shop and my partner at the time, we went and did a scuba dive on the Gold Coast Seaway as the clock struck midnight, and we came out of the water to see the fireworks over the Gold Coast. Yeah, it was pretty great. So, highly recommend scuba diving at night. Please share your underwater scuba diving night stories. And yeah, let me know what else you'd like to see. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to join the Ocean Pancake family, feel free to say like, subscribe. I also have a podcast. I also have an Instagram, all those things. And I can't wait to talk to you soon. Bye.